Hello guys, this is going to be a review of the Logitech UE 6000 over-the-air headphones. I previously did a review on these and I felt that I really wasn't thorough on the entire product, especially explaining the differences between the sound in passive and active noise cancellation amped mode. Also, I'm gonna go through the various aspects of the headphone. Alright, so let's open the box here. The box is it's like a magnetic material over here, which is pretty nice. In the box, the headphones come in the case right here in this compartment. The cables come right here, wrapped up in this bag, and then you have the splitter right here. I'll take this out. The splitter allows you to plug this into a device, anything that has a 3.5mm output, such as your smartphone, MP3 player, laptop, whatever, and it essentially splits the audio into two, so now two headphones can plug in simultaneously, and basically you can allow a friend or whomever to listen to the same music as you are through one source. This could be pretty handy if the need arises. So that's pretty much all you get with the packaging for the UE 6000s. Let me get some of the paper documents over here. Just on this side of the box, it's just your simple setup guide, which isn't really, it's just headphones. There's not much really to need to know. I mean, it does tell you what you're supposed to have with the package contents, but other than that, it's pretty much straightforward on how to set up a noise cancellation headphones. These do require batteries. I'm going to show you guys later to power the noise cancellation, as well as the amplifier that's within inside the headphones. Now, some of you guys may be wondering, what is an amplifier and why is it inside of the headphones? Now, quick overview is an amplifier is essentially a device that takes the analog signal from a digital to analog converter. Let me fix the tripod here. And it amplifies it so the speakers that are receiving the signal can actually get enough, adequate enough power to properly drive the original signal and then output sound to your ears. Now, your smartphone and your portable media device typically don't have as much juice as recommended for these larger type of headphones. So a lot of companies now are throwing in amplifiers within their noise cancellation headphones to sort of, compensate for the relatively lack of power that, the majority of these, nice and thin smartphones and other type of devices, power efficiencies can give out to the headphones. So this is the UE 6000s. It's a very nice and stylish, classy looking pair of headphones. It's very interesting with the blue color scheme, which is a very distinct opposite theme to Beats by Dr. Dre headphones with the red color scheme. So immediately you can see that these are not Beats because of the blue color scheme. I like this. It's unique, and the headband. Another thing I like about it is that the headband is really it has a nice soft matte finish. The texture is very nice to feel. Feels very durable. The whole unit itself, the whole headphone, feels very durable in the hands. It has a nice weight and heft to it, but it's not uncomfortable on your ears. The ear pads, as you can see here, goes over your ears entirely, so your ears pretty much fit inside of this. And what this does is it provides maximum noise isolation, as well as the best bass response, because when you have the entire cups sealing your entire ear, the bass cannot escape outwards as if the ear cups was sitting upon your ears. So you get the maximum bass response and very good noise isolation. Passively, one thing, these headphones basically have two sound signatures and two operation modes. It's passive mode, and then you have active mode. Now, these are active noise cancellation headphones, but in passive mode, which is very nice, is that suppose the batteries, which are located over here, if those were to die, unlike the studios and the executives from Beats by Dr. Dre, Those two headphones, if the battery were to die, you can no longer use the headphones. You'd have to get a pair of new batteries in order to reuse the headphones. These, on the other hand, you just flick a switch, which is over here. This activates the noise cancellation and amplifier mode, and this simply activates passive mode. Now in passive mode, this works as a traditional headphone in which you simply plug it into your source and proceed to listen to your music, uninterrupted by the inconvenience of your batteries dying. Now in passive mode, to break down the signatures, it's more of a balanced headphone in the sense that the bass isn't as elevated and the treble isn't as elevated as it is in active mode. So in passive mode, you have still an elevated bass. The bass is still the forefront in the frequency response spectrum, and that is very welcoming, because it's good to have elevated bass with headphones and earphones, because it compensates for the lack of the physical presence that speakers can give. So by having an elevated bass response, as well as the elevation and the frequency range extending towards the lower mids, this gives a sense of warmth to the sound, as well as a good sense of analog traits to the sound. So as it extends through the lower mid-range and then goes further into the frequency response in the lower treble, it keeps its presence, but it sort of drops down, because you don't really want the treble to be excited or present to the extent of being as leveled as the mid-range and the bass is, because your ears are very sensitive to treble. So if it's up there in that range, and especially the speakers are so close to your ears, the treble is going to get very fatiguing over time, and it's going to ruin your listening experience. In terms of the detail and sound staging capabilities, these exceeded my expectations for $200 headphones. The detail is very, very good. The instrument separation is very distinct, and the sound stage is pretty much out of your head the majority of the time. Texture, especially in the bass, is very nice and textured. You hear a lot of sub-bass notes that you normally wouldn't hear with other pairs of headphones, and it has a very good distinct control. You can especially see the frequency measurements in the 30 hertz square wave response. This has a very good control of the bass notes. Now, flicking this switch, let's go over here into active mode, changes this headphone entirely. This is pretty much a very nice mode to have when you're using it with a portable media player, because of the fact that they can't output enough power to sufficiently power these in passive mode. So what happens is the amplifier inside of this kicks in and basically elevates the bass and the treble, which gives a sort of a loudness effect to the headphones. So now that the bass is a lot more elevated, it's very good in case you're outside, because it helps compensate for the relative bass loss that you might get from the environment around you, as well as the treble also being raised, because if you're going to raise the bass, it's good that you're going to raise the treble, because a lot of bass will drown out the rest of the frequency response, and if you don't really elevate those other spectrums, it's going to create a very muddy and unsatisfactory sound. So the sound in active mode is very lively, and it's pretty much what I expected Beats by Dr. Dre headphones to sound like when they first launched. I expected to have like a very lively club-like sound, and this was back in 2008 and 2009 when these first launched, but then those headphones pretty much screwed up, and they had a very clubby sound, but it was very muddy and undefined. These, on the other hand, in active mode, will easily satisfy your average consumer. The sound that these offer, to me, I actually find it very enjoyable and satisfactory, especially with genres like electronica, trance, drum and bass, all of those very rhythm type music that has like a very fast upbeat momentum to it. These headphones sound absolutely spectacular in active mode, and then like some slower trance, R&B, jazz, I flick them back to passive mode, where they sound more like studio type headphones. Now, some people say that these can sound as good as $700 pairs of headphones, and basically that is by flicking this into active mode and then utilizing your iDevice's bass reducer EQ preset. An EQ is basically an equalizer, and what that does is some people may have find the passive mode, the treble, to be a bit too subdued. So with the active mode increasing the treble and also increasing the bass, some people have found the bass to be a bit too present and elevated in the mix. So by flipping into active mode and then using iDevice's bass reducer, you essentially are kind of making it a bit more balanced to some people. I personally have tried this and I felt that the treble was a bit too excited and the bass was maybe not as much as I'd like. So this is a good option for those who may find the bass to be too present in the mix in active mode, and maybe find the treble to be a bit too, you know, smooth and relaxed in the passive mode. So all in all, I'd highly recommend these headphones. They are comfortable, they sound amazing, they look sleek and stylish. It pretty much hits all the points to someone, you know, like an average consumer, and I'd even go as far as to say as an audiophile, because I am an audiophile myself and I enjoy listening to these headphones, and I really don't see myself sitting there analyzing and criticizing or finding any flaws in the presentation of these headphones. And I do own a pair of West Sony S5s, which are basically $1,000 custom in-ear monitors, and to say that I can sit down and enjoy the sound of these is a very high feature for these pair of headphones. So this review maybe have not covered any aspects or questions that you were maybe hoping that the review would have covered. Please post them below in the comment box. I'll try to answer them to the best of my ability. Thanks for watching this video review, guys. Later.